Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, I have my co-host, Barbara. Are you there, Barbara?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
And I have my other co-host, Kelly. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kelly.
Now, Kelly,
Hi there.
being this is your friend that's a guest today, why don't you introduce your friend?
Okay. Tonight we have Christina Carey. She is here. All right. And
hi, everybody.
Hi, Christina.
Hey. And she is part of our Overcoming Adversity series, and she has done part 1 and 2 so far, so we are on the part 3. And if you haven't caught it, the first and second part, you can find them on our YouTube. And if, obviously if you're listening live, you can go later on if you missed some of it, or if you'd like to hear it again on YouTube and hear it. So go ahead whenever you're ready, Christina, and
Okay.
let us know what's in your mind.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you. It's actually a beautiful honor to be here and speak to everyone. I want to just share my heart. I have a lot to cover. A lot of it will be triggers for some of you, at least the first part of it. And I'm going to start now. So, to fully comprehend the battle and many chains being left to broken individual, the hellish nightmare I faced due to a narcissistic, abusive man or men at that, leaving me with fear, broken. I felt disgusted with myself. I also self-harmed at times. But it really was mostly, like I said before, with the one. Why any grown man or men would ever be a child or victimize or prey on myself or any little girl or any little boy, and that I'm talking in general. But in my situation, why would they prey on me? The way or any of them did. The scars of the sweet manipulation, the way that they spoke, how they had you do things, or how just in general made you feel fearful even in public, or being outside playing hide and seek and let's go find the one person, but you're hiding in a bathroom with that person doing things that you shouldn't be doing. So just very devious. Those are memories that I have. So you want to tend to feel more protective over the children of this generation and just wanting to make sure everyone is okay. So that is why, part of the reason why I have become who I have become, of being overprotective and loving people and making sure people are okay, and because of all the abuse that I had gone through, and trusting. People trust too much, and sometimes that's just I'm not there sometimes. The sweet manipulation, not to just me, but to others. You see the manipulation that they do to others is just disgusting beyond. I know your game. You're not just wise, as you say you are. Wisdom comes only from God, not from man. They always say, I'm wise. No, you're not. You're not wise. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're wise. What about when growing up you see you have to leave and go live from house to house and be living with your mom's best friend, and or you're living with an aunt or an uncle, or your mom's doing her best to keep her children safe, and you then hear that your house and the inside is all shut up. You don't feel safe, or your car is vandalized because someone was angry. You don't feel safe. So it didn't matter. I didn't feel safe. My mom didn't feel safe either. Thankfully, we were not home when that happened. But what about the threats when we did go home and then somebody just comes knocking at the door and company was over, and then they decided that they were going to come back, and we had to call the cops because they threatened to shoot people in the house? How does that make you feel? You're not even safe at home because you're scared to go to sleep. That makes you feel uneasy. This happens. This happens every day. You always have to pay attention to your surroundings. You always have to pay attention and look out for each other. This is very, very important. It's not about just yourself. This is really helping each other out. I'm very thankful for the people that were in our lives to help us, to give us room and board, to give us things that we were in need of, to give us the help, to love us where we were. What about the last time that you laid hands on me? And you tried to kiss me, and I slapped you. What about that? I was a teenager. What about the last time you touched me? Because you were beating my mother up, and you were beating me up, and I had had enough, and how embarrassing it was. And I said no more. I was done. You were not going to do that anymore. See, this didn't only happen to us. This happens every day. This is happening right now in someone else's home. This is happening on the street somewhere. This is happening as we speak. Some people laugh. Some people take it serious. Some people don't care, but some people do. We're supposed to be help building each other up. We're supposed to be building bridges, not tearing each other down. It's not just men doing this, but it's women too. These children that are hurting other children learn it also from their parents. But that's not the only place that they learn it from. They don't have to learn it from there. I had so many blows to my head from growing up. At a very young age, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. I didn't know. Nobody knew what was going on until, they couldn't figure out why I would blink out. And finally, they got results. This left me with scars of not being able to drive, scars of having to take different medications, scars of having to see a physician, scars of sometimes sleepless nights. But thankfully, I can go to work and not have to depend solely on staying home. I can depend on myself to do that, and not everybody can. Some people have to stay home. I still have to be careful. Some people die in their sleep. Some people can't go swimming because they're afraid. Actually, some people probably have died sleeping or swimming, drowning. There's many different cases. I don't like taking meds every day. Nobody helps me pay for my medication. I'm thankful for the love of my life. Takes me to work every day. I have horrible memories, but I don't let it bring me down. I strive to be better. I strive to overcome those. Because I also know each and every person that hurt me or hurt others also has a past and also has a story. Not to give them excuses, but I also know those people are still God's children. They have to deal with it with God. My job right now is to forgive them. And I do. I forgive them. My job also is to help others and to move forward. As I get through this part of getting past the abuse and the frustrations that I have with that sometimes, and later on in my story, it will come up again. But I'm going to move forward onto my pregnancy. In October 1990, I became pregnant. And my mom always said that when I was younger, doctors always told her that I should not get pregnant. I shouldn't have children because of the devastation it could cause. It could cause my life both of mine and the child's life, or it could give the child deformities. So the best option, if that were to ever happen, is to have an abortion. And these are things that were part of an option. I remember when my mom brought that up to me after my love and I going to the center and learning that we were pregnant. I was 16 years old. I was very young, but I always helped my mom with my siblings and babysat, and I was a lot more mature than a normal 16-year-old child. And her dad was 18. We both were scared. He was headed to college, and I was in high school. We had the pressures of making decisions, and like I said, abortion was one option, but I didn't want that. So I basically said, that is not an option for me. I'm going to keep this baby alive, and we can find other options. So the next one was adoption or keeping the baby. So that was the final decision at that point. I also said, I will risk my life to give a life to my child. And I know that God will care for us. I trust him either way. We chose to have an open adoption. We chose parents. She would have a huge part of our life. We're able to have a part of her life. We also would still, we were just very excited to be able to have a part of her life. But then Christmas morning, from Christmas Eve into Christmas morning, she kicked me, and I could feel her movements, like quite a few times for the first time. And when I felt her for the first time, then I knew I could not give her up. I knew she was going to be mine, at least till her growing up years. I could not give her up. Her parents that we chose were my aunt and uncle. And the hardest thing was to share with them, was to tell them that we weren't going to give her to them. But they were very proud of us. And all they could do was hug us and understand. And they were a huge part of her birth and, of course, her growing up, which was really exciting. So we, of course, kept her, and we loved on her, and she was extremely healthy. I was healthy. We came out just fine because I'm talking to you. And as I was going through the process of writing this out, I was thinking of all the things that they said would happen, but it didn't happen. And they said this about pretty much every child that I had, the 4 children. And it didn't. And I have to say that this little girl, now an adult, 28 years later, if I would have done what they said to do, I would have missed out on such a beautiful, loving, outstanding woman she is today. Plus, I would have had missed out on being a grandma to her little princess, which is, she is the joy of my life. It was not just what I endured, but my sweet princess that made me a mom for the first time, to stay focused, keep pushing. We were in it together. She was my world. She is my world. Her and all my children and my love. You don't know the details of your situation, but are you willing to trust God and see where He takes you, even when you don't understand it, even when you don't know where He's taking you? Because sometimes it's a lot better than what you choose for yourself. His ways are better than your own, but you have to be willing to give up what you choose for yourself and allow Him to lead you. She kept me pushing, and not only that, but I felt so down and so sad on myself, and of course, from all the times that I was told that I was worthless and I wouldn't amount to anything. I had a good friend look at me and tell me, you have to want to get to where you're going. What exactly do you want? And then he told me about his dad. His mom and dad persevered through so much. They had many children, and his dad sacrificed so much. He had, I want to say, 3 or 4 jobs with no vehicle, and he walked a lot to get to these jobs. And all of his children today are very successful children. And those words stick out to me today because it's true. How are you going to get to where you're going if you listen to all the negative things? Those negative things don't define you. Your past does not define you. Your abuse does not define you. Now you can take it and you can use it to make a better world, but that's not who you are. I had to really think about a lot of things as my child was, a baby getting older. But one of the hardest moments for me when she went to her doctor's appointment and the doctor looked at me, she was probably 2 months old. And I never heard a doctor say this, but it was very special. She looked at me and said, "Christina, do you know what we're doing, right, as a new mom or a new dad?" I said, "What do you mean?" "Well, when you become a mom, you're basically preparing your child to get older and move out and be a good person in the world, is basically what she was saying. You're preparing them for life. And I never heard it in the way that she said it. Like my mom always told me things like that. My aunt always did, my grandma, everybody else did. But she had said it in such a way that it clicked in a different manner. And it's true. If you're home yelling at your kids and you're cussing at them and you're belittling them, and then they start doing it back, and then you're going to yell at them because they're doing it, then stop doing it. Or they're going to school and they're doing it to other kids or disrespecting other people because they're being disrespected in a manner like that. We have to think about all those situations, because I remember growing up and seeing a lot of things that shouldn't have happened. The other part was going to school, like education. I was a teen mom, so her dad was already going to college, getting ready, getting accepted. And me, I'm still in high school, so I still have a ways to go. So she's already getting older now. She's getting into preschool. I'm trying to go to finish high school and get her ready for school and still be involved in her school. Now, this is important. Your school is important. If you're a teen mom or a teen dad, it's very important. That really needs to get done. However, if your little baby, your toddler into preschool, be involved. If you have time to spend an hour, 2 hours on Facebook, or if you have time to go play hoops with your friend down the street, if you have time to go play video games or do gaming, you have time to spend with your child to volunteer at the preschool. You don't know where that's going to lead you. You want a better future for yourself and for your future child? It can begin here. I started doing this, and a lot of stuff started happening within this preschool. I started volunteering, and then I started doing the chairperson. From that, I went on to doing business conferences at different areas in, I think, Detroit, one in Chicago, and one in another place. They were teacher conferences. So I was learning. I was being fed, I guess, in such a way where it was teaching me things that was going to take me even further to where I needed to be. But it was also building my confidence, because it didn't end there. Because my child was growing up, and guess what? I got pregnant again. And I'm still trying to finish high school. So here's my second kid coming. I'm almost there. But then they decided there was a change happening, and they said, Christina, you have to go get your GED. You cannot finish. Well, Christina was like, I don't think so. That's not going to happen. And I literally, I'm not kidding, I fought. I made phone calls. I talked to different people. Then finally I went and talked to the principal. Like, I had to go, I felt like, in circles. I even called somebody within the government. Like, I was very determined that I was going to walk that stage. If you have determination to get to the point where you want to succeed, to where you're going, you're going to do all that you can. You have to believe in yourself. Because you have a child as a teenager does not mean you can't succeed. If people tell you that, don't listen. I was told that. I know many people that were. And guess what? They have degrees. And whether you have a degree or not, you still can be successful. Because I know many other people that are very successful that don't have degrees and that actually have been teen parents. So whoever tells you that, don't listen to them. And you people that are saying that to these people that say you cannot do something because you're a teen parent, you need to stop. Because you're drawing wedges. You're not building a bridge. Start building a bridge for that person. Encourage them. I fought very hard. I went to school day and night. I went to 3 different schools at one point. Try taking a stroller, a backpack, a diaper bag, a baby on a city bus. I did it. You can do it too. And walking. I did it. Sometimes I got a ride, but I still did it. That's because I was persevering and had determination. I wanted to be successful, and I wasn't about to listen to the people that told me I was worthless. Finally, that principal said, you go and work hard towards your GED. Come back and tell me how you did. When you do that, you can come back because I'll grandfather you in. You can finish all of your credits and you can graduate and walk that stage. This girl she did. I worked my butt off. And I walked in that classroom and said, I still have this amount of credits to get, which was about 12. If I get these 12 credits done in 8 months, will I be able to speak at graduation? My teacher looked at me and said, if you get all these credits done, you can speak at graduation. I was 9 months pregnant on stage speaking at graduation 8 months later. 9 months later. Because that was determination. If you think you can't do it, change that mindset, because you can. And that was my third baby, because they were just coming out. Those babies were. And yes, they were all from the same daddy. Because I know that's probably a question. I get that a lot. I had a lot of fighting to do, and I'll tell you what. I worked my butt off for that diploma, and I enjoyed walking that stage. I was very proud of myself. I enjoyed speaking at graduation. I did not have a baby on stage, and I was ready to be enrolled and started college that next semester. And I was able to do that for a little while. And when they say you're not able to get an amazing job, I was able to. I was able to get a really good job that I love. I absolutely love that job. It's more than a job to me. It is one of my most favorite positions that I've ever held. But it's because of the determination that I had and certain people that believed in me. Because to get that diploma, I had to go to school day and night and work really, really hard. And this isn't just to the teen moms. This is to the teen dads too. Because so many people are focused on just the moms. But we had a really good support system. We really did. But not everybody has that. We had my mom, my pops, his family, and all of our family around us. Excuse me. And at that time, you know who your true friends are. Because a lot of them leave. I had a lot of that. You don't see them. We had agencies. They were a very, very good support system as well. Very positive. And I really enjoyed that. Now, how are you going to fight for yours? What are the things that you're striving for? Whether you're a teen mom or dad, or if you were a teen mom or dad. See, I love to talk about generational things because I look back to see where I came from. When my grandma came here from Texas, she came here with 11 children, and she moved here from Texas and lived in a shack. Okay? And we have a picture of that shack. I don't know how she fit all the children in there, but to me, that is the most beautiful thing in the world. To see that and to see how she did it not only her, but my great grandma, because I remember seeing my great grandma's home. And that was a one room home, wherever, different places that she had lived. But seeing those places and where we are today and how and what it took for them to raise all the children and to be an influence in the lives of the grandchildren and their children and so on, and then the aunts and everyone else to come this far and where we are now. So if you are looking at your life, what are you doing for your future generations? Are you thinking about that? Or are you just thinking about the here and now? Because the other part I think about is what Jesus sacrificed. Because if he was thinking about the here and now, he didn't have to sacrifice all that. He was thinking about all of us when he did it. There's so many things in the Word of God that when I look through it, it wasn't only about then. Some of that I think of now. So, what excuses are you making? Are you making excuses for yourself? Are you blaming it on your past, on the things that happened to you? Because I'll tell you what, I'll be honest, I did. I have to have a certain part of my area a mess. And I blame it because a certain person was completely OCD. I need it a mess. I need some of that messiness. Don't listen to the negative people. You don't have time for that. There's difference between the negativity and the constructive criticism. If you have constructive criticism, there's a way to say it. Not to belittle the person, but to talk to them in a manner of, hey, this is what's going on. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. But not bash them. And not lie about them either. I've seen a lot of that. See, I say all these things because these are things that were happening to me. These are things that every day, there were times where someone was angry at another person and everybody else would get food, but I would get left out. Or instead of the constructive criticism, it was just criticism. So now I have to pay attention, like, okay, are you talking, like, how are you saying that to me? I need details, and I need to know how you're approaching me with that situation. Because that's important, especially where from the background. So there's things that I still have to work on. But then I think about, okay, I know where that's coming from. I I know what I need to work on. There's a difference if you don't acknowledge it and then when you do acknowledge it. But then there are times where there are some people that are, oh, I just know everything. You can't tell me anything. I'm wise and I'm older than you, and that's just it. I've had to deal with that too. It's just a lot. How many of you have gone through all of this and you feel as if there is no way out, or if no one is listening? I'll tell you what, when I was going through all of that abuse, I felt like there was no way out. I felt like no one was listening. And the more that I told, the more that it was happening. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe anywhere. I only felt safe with my mom. I only felt safe with my grandma. I only felt safe with my aunts. There's only few people that I felt safe with. I can only, on my hand, as far as men that made me feel safe, I can count on my hand. That's probably it. Growing up. Don't give up hope. I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I've lived it. But someone is trying to help. Also know, again, God is with you. And I know for some people that's hard because some people say, well, God, why would God allow this? Well, God gives you free will. That's what happens. We have free will. That person chose to do that. The other thing is, God really is with you. Just trust Him. And I know that there are unbelievers out there, and, if you don't believe in Him, get in the Word. Read a verse every day. He'll come and show you He's real. He is. God blesses you to be a blessing. He's always blessing. And sometimes blessings don't have to be extravagant. God Himself is a blessing. Just to hear His voice is a blessing. Just to feel His presence is a blessing. And the other part of just His presence, sometimes He doesn't feel like He's there, and you just feel alone, and you don't even feel Him at all, but He is there. You just have to trust that He is. I also want you to know that God delights in you. Do you want His best for you? I remember Him asking me that question. Christina, do you want my best for you? And my answer to that was yes. And I'll tell you what, He changed my life in a very tremendous way. And if you do want His best for you, are you willing to be available to His voice? Sorry, excuse me. And then what does it actually look like when we build each other up. We're supposed to be light, to be love. We're supposed to build bridges instead of breaking each other down. We need each other the most. Sometimes when people need each other the most is when people start tearing each other down or when they become distant. I know I had someone tell me some very not nice things, and that's when I learned that I could no longer trust them. And I actually trusted this person, but I knew who I could trust even, more. I just focus on God. I know tonight I had a lot to say, and tonight is a very hard night for me. I wanted to honor my Pops. He's very, very special and dear to my heart. He's passed away 1 year ago today. Him and my mom died 3 weeks apart. And his was all of a sudden. So I just wanted to say how thankful I am to him because he took us to a place where we could feel loved. He took us to a place where there was laughter again. I enjoyed our moments of our stepdaughter. I don't like to say stepdaughter, but daughter and father time of discussions that were very meaningful. And he supported us through everything, all of us kids. Very encouraging, very loving, even when we disagreed. Our Pops, I remember as I was getting ready on my wedding day in Mom and Pop's room, sitting on the bed, and he knocks on the door and says, "Baby girl, whenever you're ready, I'll take you down to your mom, whenever you're ready." "Okay, Pops, okay. I'll be out in a minute." And I just sat there in quietness because it's a big day. And I get up and he looks at me and just says how beautiful I was. He's like, "All right, baby girl, are you ready? I'll take you down." And as he's walking me down to the beginning of the aisle, And then later, I enjoyed the father and daughter dance as he kneels down and then grabs my hand and starts to dance with me and twirls me around. Or the stash of candy that I wasn't supposed to have, but he had hidden for enough for both of us. He showed me things of how a father was supposed to show daughter. In a way that was meaningful, loving, the unconditional love, not condescending. He was a blessing. I remember the last day, which would have been yesterday, a year ago. We had a birthday party, and I rubbed his head, gave him a hug, and I was like, Pops, I really love you, Pops, and I can't wait. We're all coming over for dinner in your new apartment. We didn't plan for our parents to both be gone last Christmas. We were supposed to take a vacation with our parents. But we were burying both our parents. Pops, really a blessing. To you fathers out there who are the first love of a daughter, you need to be the best dad in the whole wide world. Through everything. Don't make her feel abandoned. Don't harm her. Talk to her. Be open with her. Because if you are not, she will not be open with you. Have a relationship with her, just like you have a relationship with God. God is the number one relationship that anyone could have. You fathers are the second relationship a daughter needs to have. Because if you're mean to her, if you, however way you are with your daughter, is the type of man she probably will end up with. That happens a lot. So, love your daughters. That goes for you too, mothers. Love your kids. That's my heart tonight. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Yes.
wow. That was a lot to think about. And there were so many times I wanted to come in and say something, but I didn't want to interrupt you because you're really, really on a roll, and it's just, wow, there's so many things to think about. I know I'm going to be listening to this again.
Yes.
Thank
that
you
was
so much.
wonderful. A wonderful tribute to your pop tonight. We're so sorry for your loss, and it is when your anniversary today that you lost him.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that,
it's
I mean, you're already talking about very sensitive stuff, and on top of that anniversary, we know how hard this was for you. So we're so grateful that you're strong enough to share.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just know that all of us kids, like, we're all posting pictures, and we're all missing him, and we're missing both of them, and those two were something else, I'll tell you. They could not be apart very much.
Yeah.
But
it's so nice they found each other. I mean, you know, when a lot of times when two people really love each other, they don't last very long without each other. When one goes, the other one goes. Yeah.
That happens so much.
Yeah.
Right.
yes, it does.
Goes to show you how strong love is, that it can affect somebody that greatly.
Yeah. Wow. And I could hear your puppies in the background. They wanted to join the show and support you too.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, he's barking. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. They're like, hey, Mom, we support you.
I'm grandma. I'm the grandma. I'm the fur grandma.
Aww. Aww. Yeah, wow. That was so powerful, your testimony through the whole thing. I was like, you know, you could have heard a pin drop over here. I mean, I was just so totally focused on everything that you were saying.
For a minute, I thought we were disconnected. I was like, oh, boy.
You're like, have I been talking all this time to myself?
I know.
Yeah, I had you on. What I did was I put myself on mute so I wouldn't, you know, there wouldn't be any background noises. You know, that's what I
Me
did.
too.
So, and also, just so you know, what I did was earlier before the show, you said that you wanted to spend some time to remember your dad. So what I did was I changed it from 60 minutes to 90 minutes, so you'd have some time to talk about him.
Thank you.
Yeah, we didn't want to have it be like, oh yes, we're almost done with the show when you're in the middle of talking. That would be kind of rude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was like thinking. Excuse me. No, the dogs were barking, and then I have one that's sitting up here by me, and I'm like, okay, now I just got to finish up. But no, it's amazing because so many people they look down upon the, you know, when I was a teenage mom, I was looked down upon so many times, and I have looked around, and I know many people that have had teenage pregnancies, and for people to say that, these people are actually pretty successful people. They have bachelor's degrees. They're traveling around doing speaking engagements. They have gotten their high school diplomas. Some of them, they're still successful and didn't go to college, but they're still very successful. So just that alone makes me think, like, stop saying that they won't be successful. Stop saying that these young kids won't amount to anything, when I'm looking around seeing these young kids. I'm proof of that.
Yeah.
And so is my children's father was proof of that. And a lot of the other people that I was looking up are proof of that too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my best friend was one, and she raised the greatest son. And she actually went and, well, she did get her GED, but then she went back and got degrees. She went to college when she was 30 and put him through college. And, he's a fabulous young man. She had him when she was in, like, 18. I mean, not as young as you, but that's just judgmental stuff, and that's rude. And I mean, our bodies are made to make babies at a certain age. Who's to tell us when we have to make that choice?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we had a girl in school who was 16, and she opted for the open adoption, but she was on homecoming court. I mean, not to say that has to be all end all, but I mean, I think the stigma was starting to shift, but then, people are always going to think something about somebody somewhere. I mean, it doesn't matter, if your hair's green or if you're on the homecoming court or if you're, it doesn't matter, because if somebody's going to think something, they're going to think something no matter what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, so,
And that's never going to go away, because I'm an adult and people still think things. And I've gotten, even with something that we'll probably talk about later, I got a message, and it was kind of rude. And I'm like, really? Like, did you ask me how I feel about that?
Oh,
You
wow.
didn't. You didn't ask me about me. You just threw it. Basically, trashed me. So I'm just like, it's okay. It's fine. You just keep that.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Just, sometimes you just have to be the kindergarten thing of, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say to me, you bounce it off me and sticks to you,
I'm like, I don't need it. I'm moving forward.
Exactly.
I think you've been through so much that something like that is not going to be the thing that gets you down.
No, not going
to.
to.
Yeah. I mean, when people are slinging arrows, it's because they have an issue.
Yeah.
Now, I'll second guess myself at things like, okay, did I do that right, or did I say this? Like, there's certain things that I will do, or I'll get frustrated about something, and then I'll have to, like, figure it out, or I'll ask a million questions. But other than that,
yeah,
something
I do the
will
same
come
thing.
up.
One
I
of
think
the
we
things
all
that you
do.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Back to your whole story, one of the things that was similar to mine, which is happening so much out there, and it's sad, is that we've had the most amazing fathers, but then there's a divorce, and then we get a stepfather, and that stepfather is just an evil, horrible person, and our whole lives change because of that. That is what happened to me. And then people say, well, where was your mother? Well, they have a pretty sneaky way of dishing out their abuse when they're alone with you. There's plenty of times that they do that, and then they control you, making you so afraid to say anything that you really feel so alone, because, yes, you do feel safe with your mother, but she's sometimes in the shower even, and they do it, There's a lot of hitting that can happen during a 10-minute period. So I had that similar thing happening. But like I said, the last show, I always knew that someday I would be grown up and I would be on my own and it would be over. But there's a lot of kids out there that don't see the rainbow at the end and the light at the end of the tunnel. They don't see it, and they need to reach out. So I wanted them to know that you're available and that you're on Facebook under Christine Carey on Facebook.
Christina.
Christina, I'm so sorry. Christina
it's okay.
Carey. So that's important when they're looking you up. So thank you.
Yes.
And and to reach out to you or us at Life Laughter Happiness, and that they're not going to have to be alone anymore.
No, they don't have to be alone, and it's important that they speak up. And the other part of that is when they do speak up, and what was really striking is because you don't know who's doing it. I haven't shared with people on here of who was doing all of that, and I won't. I've forgiven the people. But
I'm not really sure who in your family. I didn't mean to call them out. I'm not really sure, but it's people that are close by. Let's just put it like that.
I wanted to say something. This is something I brought up on another show. Did you ever watch Sesame Street?
Yeah.
I mean, but Christina, did you ever watch it?
Sesame Street?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Sesame Street.
Okay. Well, let me tell you an interesting story. Do you remember Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Yes, I love him.
Okay, and you remember how he was this imaginary friend that only Big Bird could see?
I don't remember his imaginary friend.
Well, see, here's what happened. Mr. Snuffleupagus was created. He was this imaginary friend. I know this is not a tangent, by the way. This is not a tangent, okay? But when he was created, he was supposed to be Big Bird's imaginary friend that only he could see. And what happened was that they changed it to where everybody could see him, but he wasn't imaginary anymore. And the reason they did that is because of pedophilia. What was happening was, when you really think about it, here's what was happening. There was this guy, this thing that was going around that was real, that the kids knew was real, but the adults weren't listening to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed kind of like it was better that, that they just bring them out so that, because, it shows that parents should be able to, let kids know that they should listen to their parents. Let kids know that their parents are going to listen to them. What do you think of that?
I think parents should listen to their kids. They need to, or get them into. I didn't know that story about Snuffleupagus. I actually love Snuffleupagus. But
he used to be an imaginary friend that the adults don't know, and now everybody knows him, and that's why. And actually it's kind of sad because Carol Spinney died recently.
I know, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that used to make me so frustrated that nobody could see him. And it was so, it's like he's right there, but they don't believe him.
I had an imaginary friend, too, when I was little, from all the trauma that I had gone through. So, and plus I was the only child for a long, long time. So my imaginary friend, her name was Rachel. That's her name.
Aww.
Yep. She was my best friend.
It's a coping mechanism, isn't it?
Yes, it was.
Aww. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing the natural strength a child has, a resiliency and a strength inside that they imagine a friend like that to comfort themselves. That is really amazing, actually.
So that was it was amazing. So when you brought that up and then told the story, that's why I was like, "Oh, this is interesting because I never knew that." And then it came to life, and I thought that was really neat. So, yeah.
There were other things, like Mr. Hooper. They didn't want to replace Mr. Hooper because they wanted Mr. Hooper to teach kids about grandparents dying. Mr. Hooper dying, so.
Oh, wow.
Nope, I used to watch Sesame Street all the time.
Yeah. Then 321 Contact and Nova and all those on PBS.
I love Mr. Rogers.
I was going to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go watch the new movie.
Me too.
I do too.
I can't wait.
Wow. Did you see the documentary? It was on Netflix or something.
No.
No, but maybe I'll go watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it's still on.
It might still be here. Oh, that was good.
Was that recently,
Actually,
Kelly? I would love to see that.
It was a few months ago, but it might still be on there. I don't think it was Hulu. I think it was Netflix.
Okay, that's what I have.
Oh,
But actually, what's kind of
yeah,
funny is I found out something interesting that, you remember when Eddie Murphy, who's going to host SNL the week after this coming week, would do an impersonation of him. They asked Mr. Rogers what he thought of it, and he said, "Oh, it's always good fun,"
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a good sport.
you would think he would be. Well, I think that he said it's always good fun. I think that he did. This is what he said. There is this. I think he sort of got the impression that kids weren't going to be watching the show at that time of night. But also, I think another thing he said is that there was this guy in the South or something on the radio, and he would say that he was wanting to get telling kids to get their dad's shaving cream, their mom's shaving cream, and their dad's match, and then light a match next to the shaving cream or something. And
what?
he was doing it in his voice, Mr. Rogers' voice, and he really didn't like that at all. But I also know another fact I know about Mr. Rogers, though, that is interesting, is that when he died, I think it was Robin Williams did Dead Poets Society. They'd done the movie. And Mr. Rogers wrote a letter to Robin Williams, saying that he loved his movie and how it taught the importance of teaching, And then Robin Williams, his wife, took him aside. And he goes, "I want you to promise me something. Don't ever make fun of him." So,
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Those two guys, I really liked both of them. I always watched Mr. Rogers too, but I watched Robin Williams a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Another great one we lost.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Did you guys have any more questions, or should I don't know if I had anything else in here. I think I used all my notes.
Oh, no, I think it was great, and I just think raising awareness is so important, which you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
in a
think
very special way, touching people very, very deeply, which, hey, that sparks things to happen and changes to be made right there.
That's true. When you do that on a deeply personal level, it definitely touches people. Makes them think. I don't
well,
say anything.
Right. I hope it's at least if it changes one person's life, then all of it's worth it. If it changes many people's, then I am even more happy, because that's why I want to be available, because I just want to be used. I want God to use it to grow His kingdom and to make a difference in the lives of people that are hurting.
I have a question for you. How does it feel?
Hope. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you, how does it feel when you get to come on our show and talk? You've done it 3 times. So I was just wanting to know what feelings goes through your head when you do this, or your body when you do this.
I really love it. It's given me a chance to really go back and think about everything and try to get everything on paper. And I don't just really think of me, I get to do this. Yes, it's an honor. Yes, it's exciting, but I really want to focus who's listening, who's hurting, how can I help them, is, being a vessel. God is going to do something amazing, trusting Him with my story.
Are you surprised by how you felt when you did it?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Well, the only reason I asked if you were surprised is a lot of people come on here and they were surprised. Kelly was. I mean, she was like the first day, she was like, oh, God, I don't want to sound like a dork. She comes on, she sounds great. I mean, were you surprised at how you felt for you?
I was surprised. I was surprised at how the doors are opening for this, and I didn't think that this would happen. I am still kind of in a shock mode type of way, because this is something that I want to do and continue to do for organizations, or talking to other people to help change lives, to be that vessel. Sorry. To be that vessel.
They're saying hey.
Yeah, I know they want to say hi. But that's whatever God has planned. I know that I want to be able to make a difference with my story. And so, yeah, I'm still shocked about it. I've gotten to speak at a couple other places, and I have another one to speak at in honor of my mom, but not so much of my story, but more of her story. So it's really a blessing. So thank you.
Wow. It's wonderful you're able to share. That you're sharing so much and you're doing so much. And before the show, you were telling us how this has been so wonderful for you and you really found your purpose, and then you plan on doing this for the rest of your life. I thought that was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I think this is something that I would love to do. I'm about missions. Like, I love mission work. I have certain plans to do things in country and out of country. And with that, of course, you share your story, you share the gospel and things like that. So this is all part of it. So
wonderful. Yes, it is.
Wow,
and
we're part of it. Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
Me too.
I love this series. Yeah, I love this series. Important.
So this is how I'm leaving 2019. The last 2 years have been very difficult, and I didn't think last year we were in a very different mindset, and then the beginning, and then in the middle, like in June we buried my grandma. She passed away, and I was very close to her, and so that was really hard. And then getting back on track, we're here and we're leaving 2019 with great things happening.
Good. It's about time.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm excited
to hear
what's to
the
come.
joy in your voice, Christina. I can hear the joy like radiating from within you. I really do hear that.
Thank you. I hope it stays. It's going to stay. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So as long
Good
as
for
my focus has to stay on God. It has to stay on Him. That's where as long as He is the focus, that's it. Got to go. It's got to stay on Him.
And you have faith. And that faith, that will take away any anxiety whatsoever, having that kind of faith.
Exactly. And you've got all these angels behind you.
Yeah, He's my focus.
Yeah. So look at that. Look at these angels behind you. And they're with God, so it's even more powerful.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
There's so much more they can do.
Now, Kelly,
never ending.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I just said it's just really never ending. It can last forever. Everything that you have to share, nobody would ever get tired of hearing it. It's just something that you need to share, and it is your purpose, and you're doing such wonderful, beautiful things for the world. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
You. And what were you starting to say?
Well, I was going to have a question, but I don't think we'll have time because it's actually 9:30, isn't it?
Oh, no. Ask your question. Go right ahead. It's fine.
So now I forgot my question.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to ask her something. Oh no.
No, it's okay. I should have wrote all my questions down. That one I didn't write down. I wrote everything else down.
Was it for us? What was it? Was it a question for us?
Yeah, it was for you guys, but I'm sure I can ask you guys later. It's fine.
Okay.
Well, when you think of it, write it down.
Yeah,
right.
I just had it right there. I was like, wait a minute,
no.
now it's gone.
Aww.
Well, you know where to find us. So
yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I
ask us privately.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it on the next show. And whatever you'll think of it, and then just ask Kelly, and then we'll address it next time.
I will. Sure. I will ask.
Okay.
And then I will say that again.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Well,
you
it's
do.
hard because it echoes. My headphones will echo, so it's hard. Sometimes I'll hear it, and then I'll hear it a little bit later. So that's why. But anyway.
Oh.
Okay. So I will email you some questions, or not email, I will message you some questions when I think of them. And then, Barbara, how do I find you?
Okay, I have my normal Facebook too, just under my name, Barbara Moore, and
Okay.
I will go on and make sure I'm connected with you. I think I have put a friend's request. I'm not sure, but I will go and make that easier for you. But it's just under Barbara Moore.
Okay. And then,
Yes.
okay, and I know how I'm connected with everyone else, so I think
Okay.
you're
I'll
the
double
only
check.
one that I wasn't connected with.
Okay, let me check right now, actually.
Yeah, you should be able to find her through mutual friends, too.
Yes. Okay, searching. Okay, there you are. Okay, I'm adding you.
Okay.
I thought I already had done that. There. Oh, what a cute picture. Oh, wow. I love that.
My grandbaby.
Yeah, with the Christmas tree. How so sweet.
Aww.
And you look so cute, too, there. Hustle, pray, eat.
Thank you.
I love that
Yeah.
on your T-shirt.
Thank you. I love that too.
Yeah, it's a great T-shirt. Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Now we're connected. All right. So do you want me to do the shout out?
Yes, you can.
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right.
Well, everybody, if you want to contact Christina Carey directly, please do. And why don't you shout out to her and give her some feedback on her series? This is the third one she's done. And go and listen. If you missed the first and second episode, you can find it on our YouTube channel, and that's at Life, Laughter, Happiness YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe as well while you're there. And reach out to Christina Carey. I'm going to spell it out. CHRISTINA CAREY. Write to her. And you can find us as well all across the board, Life, Laughter, Happiness, on our Facebook and our Twitter, and also our Instagram. Please stop by all of those. We would love feedback. We wanted you to be part of our community and interact as much as you want. We would love that. Right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you so
Thanks,
much,
everyone.
Christina. Another amazing show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Barbara. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a blessed night.